What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation, man? I want to welcome y'all to Sauce Sports, man. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network, so that means we're talking all sports, but only Houston. So with that being said, man, I want to shout out to Wink. It is Wink Wednesday. How you doing this evening, Wink?
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of Wink Wednesday. I appreciate everybody coming through. I see white persuasion and that love he spouted out. You know, we just gonna try to give y'all another good show as always. And Heidi, stay hating.
That's a wrap. So like I said, y'all know how we start this thing out, man, because there is no sauce without the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. The freshest ingredients are you, the motherfuckers in the chat, Sauce Nation. And I don't want to call y'all motherfuckers, but I'm calling y'all some motherfuckers. Y'all be all right. Y'all ain't gonna die from it. So let's see who we got in the mix, man. And like I said, we're going to dive into the roll call. If you're not familiar with the roll call, man, roll call is simple, man. Simple instructions. If you're from the city, shout out your side with pride. If you used to be in the city, you know, whatever side you represent. But if you're no longer from the city or if you're not affiliated, you know, let us know where you at. And we can send a little bit of that computer love, man. Like I said, we're going to send that shit live and in your motherfucking direction. So with that being said, let's see who we got in the mix this evening. And we're going to go from there, man. So let's see. Oh, let me get the live chat. I don't want the top chat. I need the live chat because we keep it real live.
Yeah, the live chat.
Devontae, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss Voodoo C holding it down. Oh, she always be Voodoo in here, you know what I'm saying? See, Miss Voodoo C be on the job, man. Voodoo, I don't know if Voodoo be over there eating burritos and tacos and, you know what I'm saying, getting the extra sauce off his fingers and stuff. Don't be one to type. Nah, I fuck with Voodoo too, man. It's much love. Heidi Kleindienst. Katie representative, shame. Lucas, Tony, Texas. Darren motherfucking Davis, what's the motherfucking deal? Max Vasquez, what's the deal? White Persuasion. Home, a real family from downtown Atlanta. You know how he get down. Wise, what's the motherfucking deal? Elijah Turner, South City, what's the motherfucking deal? Lazarian Chriswell, that sounds like a new one, man. What's the motherfucking deal? Man, I appreciate you joining us. If you've been here before, well, you know, my fault if I hadn't recognized you, but look like a new name, so I want to shout out to the new fresh flavors. Houston B, what's the motherfucking deal? 335, always holding it down. You already know. Voodoo Child, there you go. Make sure we ain't missing. Jay Dizzle, what's the motherfucking deal from the land of the trio, man? Port Arthur, Texas in the house. And Mr. Bussy winking. Not only is he going live, he in the chat holding it down too. Let's see. Make sure we ain't missing nobody, man. Because like I said, you know, we got to show.
Get that bank open, man.
The bank.
I got some gambling to do, man.
Man, the bank should be good. It ain't acting right. Let me know if it ain't acting right. Look, I'm trying to be on point. But let me know if it's tripping, so I'll double check. Okay, it's right. Okay,
we're gonna find out in a second. Yeah, the bank good.
Okay, cool. Already, DeMarcus, what's the motherfucking deal holding it down? Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I see y'all breaking bread already. So we got plenty to talk about tonight, man. We're gonna talk about the Rockets and if the Rockets are still contenders in the motherfucking West. We're gonna talk about whether or not. Shenanigans on me for that one. We're going to talk about whether or not the pickup is a benefit. We're going to talk about the Madden ratings, and we're going to talk about a couple other things. Like I say, whatever's on y'all's mind. And then, you know, the sauce line will be open for your texts all stream long. And then towards the end, we'll be taking your calls. So make sure you got good questions on it. Look, don't be afraid. Look, I know Chandler going to hold it down if he in the mix. I know everybody else be acting like they're afraid of the sauce line. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Chandler, you know what I'm saying? Always holding it down. Like
shout out to everybody who was in my 3 streams earlier. You know, I dealt with 3 separate topics. I see Darren. He asked me what happened to the stream. Man, my phone ended up dying. I wasn't paying no damn attention right when it was getting good. Y'all saw when we was getting in Clarence ass. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna show up in the stream because he was instructed to do so. You know, since he gonna obey orders and abide by the rules, we're gonna go ahead and take care of him accordingly once he get up in here. And then we're gonna make sure that we also slap the shit out of him on his Madden 18, and I'm gonna send you the link so that you can send everybody and put it in the chat for mixing so they can enjoy me beating up on this Jags fan on Madden.
Okay. Ross Thompson, that look like a new from the land of the Bucks. What's the motherfucking deal? Milwaukee already holding it down. Clarence with his real good parents. He'll probably pull up soon, man. So like I say, we're gonna talk about a couple of things. Let me make sure let me get the minutes right. But like I said, we're gonna talk about the new pickup that the Rockets have. We're gonna talk about some of the interest that the Rockets have in a couple of players and whether or not these guys would be good additions to the roster. And again, you know, whether or not the Rockets are still in serious championship contention. Wow, there we go. There you go. Okay.
I think this is something we're gonna end up having to talk about the show that Wise put in the chat. I'm just now seeing it, and it's about Marcel Darius being sued for sexual assault. So that's another big piece on their defense that's gonna probably end up going down. And how is that going to benefit us in the long run? Because we don't know how long. If he gets suspended, what's that going to end up doing for the interior part of their defense?
Man, you know what? That's a very interesting topic because we're going to touch on a little bit of the shady situation later on too. That's definitely something that needs to be discussed just a bit. Let me see what time. I think we got the intro started about 3, and then we'll call this about here. So we're going to talk about these motherfucking Rockets, man. And so they made a play. They picked up James Ennis, and in my opinion, James Ennis is an all right pickup. I don't think he's necessarily a game changer, but he does bring something to the table in the way of some of the things that we lost, which is some of the defense that we lost with Luke and with Ariza going down. So hold on, give me 1 second. So, you got any particular opinions on James Ennis? I mean, how do you feel about that move, or you know, what do you think that he's going to bring to the table with the Rockets?
I have no opinion because I honestly haven't even really been keeping up with what's already going on, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rely on, you know, the better guys like you and Wise and Braylon. How do you feel about the move personally? Because I really don't have an opinion on it right now.
Man, James, like I say, kind of a bit of a journeyman. I think you've been in the league about 4 years. Jay Dizzle, I appreciate the love. I see you. You say you real get out here, Cloud with the best of us, yo. Oh man, you look real family from Atlanta. He be on them shenanigans, man. You already know what that means.
And what's good, Mr. Killer KB?
Look here at Real Family. I get on here and clown with the best of them, so I hope you playing.
Real Family,
if
DeMarcus
not,
Johnson,
I'll beat yo as in real life, bitch me 99A. Hashtag
you know, and
drill.
Everybody else, you know, the regulars that come through for Sauce Nation.
Already. I see that Clarence Tumpy died to go down. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get on it. We're going to definitely talk about it. But James Ennis, man, like I say, 4 years, kind of bounced around. Been on a couple of teams with the Heat, Pelicans, Grizzlies, and Pistons. And I think Pistons was the last team he was on. But, again, like I say, a solid defender a couple of years back. I want to say when he was on the Grizzlies and we had played him. He played some pretty solid defense against James Harden. And with James Harden being one of the more prolific scorers, one of the hardest guys in the league to defend, I mean, that's a good thing. It's not like he's going to start. He's definitely going to come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Some of that type of action. But he's, like I said, he got a decent age on about 28, something like that. 6'7", 6'8" guy. So, again, replacing some of that length that we lost with Ariza and Muthaf. So, that'll be very interesting. I want to say what is.
Yeah, we definitely need more players with more size, man, because we can't afford to play small when it comes to playing against the better teams down in the stretch, because we saw how that had an effect on us in the long run against teams like Golden State when they're able to fucking, you know, match you with their rebounding, you know, able to get steals and shit like that, and guarding their damn perimeter. And we need rim protection extremely bad. I'm just waiting for them to hurry up and get this fucking Capella deal again, because they dragging this shit along and I'm not liking it.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually some interesting news on that too. We'll touch on that in shortly, because it's almost like is Capella the problem in that? We'll talk about that. But again, like I say, Ennis, not necessarily a prolific scorer. So again, he definitely will probably be a bench guy, but he's averaging for his career 36% from three.
Fuck Steph Curry, 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 fuck Steph Curry.
Fuck Steph Curry, fuck Steph Curry, fuck Steph Curry, fuck Steph Curry. Rockets need to surround Jochi with shooters. Boy, he needs help to get the chip.
I see why. Shout out to White Persuasion for the love, man. For the Streamlab love. But man, he was talking about that they need to surround Zochi with shooters. Is Zochi? I know a lot of people feel like Zochi gonna be the future of the franchise. I ain't gonna go that far yet. I like the man, but he's definitely impressed in the summer league. But I ain't gonna go as far as to say he's just the man yet. But we're gonna talk about him and a couple other pieces that what the Rockets have that may be utilized this year that we have to keep in consideration.
Well, I mean, I know you can't really compare players because I'm pretty sure they play different positions. But how can you judge him and Yao Ming in terms of skill sets, and what similarities do they have? Any similarities, and what can Zoki do better than Yao Ming?
Oh, he got a better shot than Yao. I think he's more versatile.
Yao Ming was a solid ass shooter.
Yeah, but Yao was good. He could stretch, but I mean, Zochi is solid from the three. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about it. He gonna give you a good play. He got a little game at the rim. A solid blocking. So I mean, they have a lot of comparative skill sets, but I think Zochi would be more of a 4 than a 5. I feel like Yao was a bit more solid. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't finna move Yao around down there like that. Zochi, he a little light in the fight, so you know he might have to pick up a little bit of weight. But then again, like I say, you know it's only yet to be seen, and so we'll have to see what's really shaking.
I mean, he is a Houston hen food city. All he needs to do is take a trip to Bel Air. They'll fatten his ass up real quick.
Oh yeah, look. Oh, he look. I'm sure they done got him. They gonna lead him around town. Look, get him away from some of that traditional Asian food. They're gonna put him on some of that barbecue. They're gonna slide him around. Look, have him eating crawfish and everything. But talking about some of the other players out there that the Rockets have some interest in, and there's a couple of names. I won't say interesting names because they're already interested in them, but one of those, of course, being Melo. We kind of discussed that a bit yesterday. It's almost a foregone conclusion, but you know, somehow, some way, I always tell y'all about the national media, and you got to look at where this media is based: L.A., New York, these places like that. So somehow, some way, the Lakers still get slid into that conversation, even though he only, from last I recalled, had meetings with the Heat and the Rockets. So, but yet, again, L.A. still gets thrown into the conversation because where's most of your media?
Man, I seen some shit. I seen some retarded shit the other day. Not to cut you off, Honcho. I seen a graph where they were showing like the odds of teams that were winning, and they had the fucking Lakers at number 2, and I think we were like at number 3 or 4 or some shit like that. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Man, Lakers will be lucky, in my opinion, to be
a 7 seed.
I was gonna be nice and give them a 6 at the best. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that unless they go and add some more pieces, you got to understand some things with LeBron. LeBron was able to do some things in the East, but if I'm not mistaken, the Cavs were 3rd in the East last year. I think somebody let me know because
they were.
You had Boston and Toronto. I think both had better records.
They were like 3rd or 4th.
Yeah. And so what I'm saying,
and I think Philly had a better record than them. I think they were like 3rd or 4th.
Okay, so like I say, so either way, so if he was in the East and having some difficulty when all the best players in the league are overwhelmingly in the motherfucking West. I mean, if you go, like I say, you go look at first team, second team, you look at people in the contention for all these awards, it's overwhelmingly Western players. LeBron would have to bang in the West, and he's never had to do that in his career. You know what I'm saying? 4 seed. And so Colin
They were 4
Cowherd,
seed, yeah.
Nobody listen to Colin Cowherd. Fuck Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, Toronto was number 1, Boston was 2, Philly was 3, and then it was Cleveland.
You're saying the Lakers will win 50-plus games, but 50-plus games still don't guarantee you a top 5 seed in the West. You know what I mean? Like I say, he's gonna be in that mix with all the teams that were banging with the Jazz, and the Jazz have definitely improved. So that's gonna be a team to look out for.
It took LeBron 50 games to be the 4th seed in the West. His record was 50-32, and that's not going to cut it in the West. I'm sorry, it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it at all.
Alrighty. So, like I say, talk about some of the interest though. We already know Carmelo. We spoke about that in detail. But Nick Young, Swaggy P, Mr. Cocaine Nose himself, has been generating a little bit of interest. You know what I'm saying? We already got one Scarface in Houston. We don't need another one, man. But like I said, he's been generating some. Man, I like I said, never really paid a whole lot of swag. I hate that name, Swaggy P.
Swaggy P. I don't like when people put swag in their name. Like, I don't like when people call themselves swag. Like, this shit just sounds so. I hate that word. Like, I don't like the word swag. I mean, I know where it came from. I just don't like it. I hate swag.
Here's my thing man, the Utah was a solid team. Utah swept well, not even staying sweep, but they beat that was it that OKC that they played that they struggled with, and everybody was talking about OKC was going to win 60+ and all that. So, I mean, shit. Utah's a solid team. The Lakers, I think, people are overrating. They're putting the name LeBron James, and they're putting the name the Lakers, and they're putting that together and just think, oh, instant championship. Like I said, again, media bias. Yes, it's all those people in L.A. feeling good about this. Oh, LeBron's here. It's going to be easy work. We ain't even going to have to write shit. We ain't going to, their jobs just got easier because all people going to do is just look at they can write and say anything about motherfucking LeBron, and people going, gonna eat it up. Like I say, journalists, honestly, because even what's her name, Jamel Hill came out and said it. Basically, they trying to do the easiest fucking thing they can. They want games to be over. They don't really care. They do this so much that they get tired of shit. They hate talking about the shit, but it's the job. But looking at Nick Young, man, I didn't realize Nick Young was in his 30s. I thought he was. I guess because the name Young, I guess you just automatically think he's younger than what he is. But again,
isn't he the one who was dealing with Iggy? Iggy Azalea?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was a Kardashian. It was Iggy Azalea. Yeah, that's him. So that tells you what's going on with that. But for his career,
that's the only reason why I know who he is. I don't know. Besides, I didn't even know who the fuck he was until I heard he was smashing Iggy Azalea. And the only reason why I know that is because you see a couple of World Star videos, and then you be like, she talking about she gonna cut his thing off and all. Like, come on, bitch, you ain't gonna do that.
Who is
Stop
that?
lying.
Who is that? Who is that? Was it Arenas that was clowning him? Had the video or something like it was him or one of them players.
Yeah, like somebody snitched on him. Like had turned in the video. Like one of his partners from his teammates was recording the conversation and then sent it to Iggy. Like motherfuckers like that are straight cowards, bro.
Man,
like,
and that's why I tell people.
I can almost guarantee you he didn't have a father in his household.
And that's why I tell people, don't believe just because a motherfucker can play some basketball or they can act or they can sing and dance. Don't make them cool, dog. They get all the attention. You could have all the hoes in the world, but you mad because this dude got something else. You gonna really go hate on this man. So that's what I'm saying. It was D'Angelo Russell. I had to box that nigga.
Yeah. He'd got pieced up, bro.
Just off GP. But looking at Nick Young, like I said, career average 11.5 points or 11.4. Another 6'7" guy, but more of a guard, shooting guard than a small forward. Been in the league 11 years, 33 years old. Again, was just with the Warriors, and I don't know what that means to some people. That don't mean shit to me. But again, 38% career percentage from 3-point land. An interesting guy. I would not be opposed to him coming through. Again, though, but him talking about wanting to legalize cocaine, that's a red flag in my eyes, especially in the city. Though it's gonna be looking. I'm just saying.
The cartel is not that far away.
Either look, he gonna be in a bad shape in Houston or Miami is the two places he don't need to be. But if like I said, if he can keep it kosher during the season, keep it under wraps. I don't give a fuck what you do in the off season. That's all you, man. If it make your percentage go up,
he don't need to be in New Orleans or nowhere like that either.
You're gonna be anywhere as a port. You need to abort. You know what I'm saying? So you need to stay free, man. But like I say, I know that these guys have some interest. I want to say, stop, Steve. He gonna fuck around fucking with Steve Francis out there, man.
Bro, no, not too much on Steve Francis wise. We're not gonna bring Steve Francis and Vernon Maxwell into this, bro. So what, bro?
Look, we ain't talking about Mac. Look, Max cool. He got a ring to seal that thing, so he got protection.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like a Captain Planet ring. He got the protection, so we can't talk about Max. Now, Steve. Yeah, I wanted to believe in Steve, but
if LT and Michael Irvin can get a pass, then they can get a pass too, bro.
All right, but let's like I say, man, let's discuss a couple other things. Now, let's get to something I know that you are definitely paying attention to. I know you a Madden master. I know you definitely stay on top of the news. Me, not so much, but like I say, it's just I have a little bit of interest in it. But I saw some things, and because I know a lot of people like to use Madden as a reference point to prove a lot of points and in terms of real football.
Yeah,
and play GM and all that other stuff with it. But hey, whatever floats your boat.
Right.
So the ratings came out. Was it yesterday? And I guess the updated ratings, not from the I guess the little dev shit they had earlier. Right. They had some crazy ratings. And
I knew that shit was bullshit because, and I said it was gonna end up changing around that time because it was no way possible. Just from Jadeveon Clowney being the same rating as DJ Reader was absolutely ridiculous, bro. It was no way that you could justify that. Just that one rating alone. I didn't really care about anything, but that one truly stuck out to me.
Yeah. Oh man, and we'll talk about Pac-Man and that whole situation in the airport. We'll discuss that towards the end of the stream. We'll get on that, man. But so here's the thing. So here's a couple of notable ratings, and like I said, we're gonna run down these in Sauce Nation. Y'all already know, man. Y'all are contributors into the conversation, so I want to know what y'all think, and I want to know what y'all definitely think about these things. Starting off with the highest rated Texan, J.J. Watt, 98.
Right.
I'm gonna speak on
That's
that.
ridiculous.
I'm gonna speak on that in a minute and what my feelings are about that. And I've kind of mentioned it before. I kind of mentioned the first time we saw those other ratings. But you had Hopkins with a 94, Tyrann Mathieu a 93, Clowney a 91, Andre Howe, and we wishing him a speedy recovery, at 87, Merciless with an 81, Deshaun Watson an 82, Ryan Griffin a 75, and Nick Martin a 71.
Wow.
So, like I said, these are just a couple of noticeable ones. Like I said, that I saw. In my opinion, Griffin at his position is not better than Nick Martin at his position, and somehow the fact that he's not higher rated or whatever, it is what it is. And like I say, we're Texans fans, and it's not that we're hating on the Texans, but we got to be realistic because it's disrespectful to other players on this roster. You know what I mean? Starting with JJ, man, this is just something we've talked about quite often. And I'm not knocking. I would love to see him come back to be 98 JJ and shit, because that's a you got a 98 JJ and in my opinion, who should be higher?
Who wouldn't want to see that?
you see 90 plus Clowney, you see 98 JJ, whatever else. Like I say, and have a couple other 90s on that deep. Shit, that's what I would love to see. But in my opinion, there's no way that you can honestly at this point say that JJ Watt is a 98, because even in the 3 games or so, or however many games it was before he went down last year, you didn't see a 98.
No, absolutely not.
And so out of these things, though, like I say, but I know you've kept up, you've probably seen a couple of them. Are there any other ones that you saw out of these that we listed? What to you stands out the most as the most
I was on the Texans app, and I was on the Texans app when I saw it, and it came through, and I saw that they had a couple of apps, and it said that 4 people on the Texans were 90. So when I saw it, I was like, man, let me see this shit. So I go on there, I go on the Texans app, and I go look at the shit, and I see that they put Jadeveon Clowney up to a 91. Okay, I'm like, okay, all right, they cool. They putting respect on his name. But one thing that I mentioned in my stream earlier is that when it comes to the national media, when it even comes to sports media, period. You see, on Saucy Nation, we can talk about Whitney Merciless and just talk about Whitney Merciless without having to compare him or saying that he's great because of another player. And we already made the clear consensus that if we're being realistic, he's really the best player on the defense, especially considering the fact that he's the conduit between both players on the defense, meaning Jadeveon Clowney and JJ Watt, and he's performed well with both. We haven't seen him on his own without Jadeveon Clowney or Whitney Merciless, so it's going to be kind of hard to tell. But we clearly know who you can play with regardless if you have JJ Watt or Jadeveon Clowney, and that's always going to be Whitney Merciless. He makes plays, and his impact is in the game is unrivaled, and he's one of the, if not one of the top 5 right outside linebackers, because there really aren't that many who are good anyway in the league playing right now. And the fact that he has so many impact plays against Brady, and the fact that he plays big and good games in the bigger games, just like Jadeveon Clowney does, it's kind of funny that JJ Watt kind of goes away in the bigger games, but meanwhile Jadeveon Clowney and Whitney Merciless always exceed expectations in games that matter, i.e. the Patriots, the Seahawks games. I can just go down the row of games that we've had over the years where these players have been able to play, and Whitney Merciless has never gotten any respect on his own. It's when you bring him up, it's just casual, like, oh well, he's just a part of the team, like he's there, but nobody talks about his true impact, his measurables, what he does on the football field consistently, and it's a fucking shame. I'm going to dedicate a full stream to Whitney Merciless to make sure that he gets his credit, and I'm going to make sure that I tweeted at him and I send it to him on IG, because this man deserves respect, because he doesn't get it anywhere else but Sauce Nation.
Exactly. So I see a couple of folks talking about some things that they gave Luck a 87, and we ain't seen this man in how long?
He ain't played in 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. Again, like I say, a lot of that is the same thing that a lot of fans use and across multiple sports, and that's that name power. Like, it's not the fact that they've came back and proved that they were where they are. A lot of this is legacy and shit like that is what they like to include with that. Because, I mean, honestly, man, I just, like I say, I love JJ, but no way that he's been injury riddled the last couple of years.
He's not better than Whitney Merciless right now. I'm sorry.
And the thing
he's not better than Whitney Merciless or Jadeveon Clowney right now. he's not.
And here's the thing. As a matter of fact, I got the list pulled up. Here's another thing that I found outstanding. Outstanding. And this is why I say the ratings mean pretty much nothing to me, man, because it got like Kendall Lamb is equal to Julian Davenport. Now, both 66s, but Kendall Lamb should be in the 50s somewhere. You know, because he's about the worst thing that I've seen.
Him and John Weeks should have the same rating.
Pretty much. They got Weeks at a 41. A couple of other interesting things. Like I say, I'm looking at Will Fuller being an 81 and Whitney Merciless being an 81. Now, again, different positions, but we're talking about compared amongst their peers, compared amongst their skill sets. Is Whitney Merciless a better outside linebacker than Will Fuller is a receiver?
Absolutely. Well, it's no way, because at the beginning of Madden last year, Whitney Merciless was like a 88, a 89, some shit like that. So how does he go? How is it that the injury when he was actually producing in those games, he was getting sacks against Brady, he was getting strip sacks and causing plays and doing all kind of shit in these games. You know what I'm saying? He was getting sacks and just making impact plays. Now not to say that JJ was not making an impact in the game, but not to the level that Jadeveon Clowney and Whitney Merciless were making. So it's other players were able to benefit off of the pressure and destruction that JJ was creating, which is commendable in real life. But in Madden, they tend to overrate him because of past, what's the word I want to use? Yeah, they just want to use off of past accomplishments. Mm-hmm. And you can't rate a player off of past accomplishments like that. I'm sorry. This is a what have you done for me now on league, just like any other league. You think anybody cares about what LeBron did last year against the fucking Lakers when he lost? Nobody cares, because it's about what have you done with me lately? What are you doing to win and impact games? And Whitney Merciless in the game and Will Fuller in the game with better quarterback play has performed on a much higher level that we honestly didn't see coming. His first game in, and he's already catching 2 touchdowns, and his first four catches coming back off of injury go for touchdowns. I mean, that's phenomenal in itself. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, honestly, Will Fuller is fine where he is. 81, I can deal with that because I know his acceleration, I know his speed and shit like that is going to be up. And a player like me, you need that when you playing with Will Fuller and shit like that. But it's unjustifiable. It's completely disrespectful, the fact that J-Joe is rated higher. And I love J-Joe. Mm-hmm. Love J-Joe, love what he's done. But I cannot stand the fact that him or Andre Howell are rated higher than Whitney Merciless when this man has been putting in work and was actually performing before he went down to injury. And I think that's how they should judge these guys. Now, I'm not sure if they have like a stat line where they want to judge dudes before injury and they decide on how far they're going to regress, because this guy only had a pectoral injury, which isn't life-threatening, and you come back from that shit like that. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get it, man. I don't know what Rex Dixon and all these dudes from EA are doing, but I hope this video makes it to them, and they need to find a better rated system. And I hope they're not going off of PFF stats, because we know they complete trash, and you already know what you can do when it comes to them.
Yeah, and yes, Heidi, like I intended to make a brief mention of the Giles situation. I definitely caught that. Honcho has a hunch about Hinch, and I saw him say "fuck you," "fuck you, man," to Hinch on his way out. But I mean, it was the right move. And shout out to the Astros, man. Like I say, if you didn't catch the end of that game, even if you're not like a big baseball fan, like I say, I'm still trying to develop into that arena. That shit was that. Bregman needs to play some basketball. That motherfucker hit him with the and one. Like it was. I mean, if you haven't seen that, again, if you just have to go back and watch the ending of that game. The way the Astros were able to win that shit, it was ridiculous. But couple of things. Like I say, they got Watson at a 82, and I noticed a comparable guy across the league. They have Lamar Jackson at a 79.
Yep,
and hasn't taken a snap yet.
Nope.
And like I say, just some of these things, like I say, just I'm wondering if there are some biases in the Madden system. Again, you're talking about
if that's the case, considering what Deshaun Watson was doing, and the fact that he had one of the highest QBRs, the fact that he had one of the highest yards per throw, like he led the league, and the fact that he had the least amount of drops in the league, and he had 19 touchdowns that he had thrown with 2 that he ran in, and he was leading the league in rushing at that point in time before he was exited due to that knee injury, which wasn't even bad because Carson Wentz's knee injury is far worse than what Deshaun Watson had to go through because he had a clean tear and Carson Wentz actually tore ligaments and shit like that. So you can almost guarantee you it's going to take a little while for Carson Wentz to come along, than Deshaun Watson this season. Deshaun Watson is already on par to do, if not better than what he was doing last year. And it's just I honestly believe with what he did, he should at least be an 86 or an 87.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, at the very least, the man was doing things that had never been done before. You saw what he did. It wasn't like it was a fluke. He did it to Seattle. You saw what he did to the Seahawks. Like every
time he had to step up. Every time
that?
A team had some supposed when we played Tennessee was supposed to be dominant. Tennessee was supposed. People had Tennessee smashing the Texans in week 4, and look what we did.
Exactly, but that's what I say, man. It has to be some look. Some of these Madden makers have some favorite teams of their own. You know what I'm saying? And they definitely they like the rest of the nation. Hating on Texas, hating on the Texans, man.
Like when they said that Gronk was a 99, I was like, fucking how? He can't even play 16 full games.
Exactly. That's what
he didn't have double digit. He didn't lead the league in receptions. He didn't lead the league in receiving yards. He didn't lead the league in fucking touchdowns. But somehow he could still be at 99 at his position, and DeAndre Hopkins could be at 93 when he was the first team All-Pro. He was one of 2 receivers, the best 2 receivers in the league, and he's still under a 95, and it's blasphemy.
Exactly. And it's like I say, it's ridiculous. I see a couple of calls that came in. We're gonna open up here in about 5 minutes or so. We'll open up the sauce line. Got a couple of texts coming in. Says, who will have more receiving TDs, Hopkins or Fuller? Also, do you guys think B.O.B. has changed his game plan, decision making when it comes to offense? Shout out to Wink Honcho and the round table and the sauce. Appreciate that love, Wise. I kind of addressed it, so I'll let you speak your piece on it. Man. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll let you speak your piece. I kind of mentioned this a couple of days back, but I'll let you speak your piece, and I'll kind of repeat my sentiments on that.
Yeah, I said this before, but a healthy Will Fuller with this team, with a healthy Deshaun Watson the full year, I honestly think he's going to lead the league in touchdowns. I got a hunch, but DeAndre Hopkins will be right there. And DeAndre Hopkins, the only reason why he'll probably be able to take that over is because he's such a red zone presence, and they just got plays that are unstoppable when he's in the red zone. And he's shown that he can get it over anybody. And last year, and when we get to the Andre Johnson part of this podcast that we're doing today, I definitely want to reiterate a major point that nobody else is taking in comparison of why he was the best receiver and compared to what they say are the best receivers this year. But I honestly believe Will Fuller will end up taking it because he brought a different dynamic, and the fact he was doing it on lesser catches, I see no reason why he can't hook up. And the fact that he's a little bigger now, he beefed up, his hands are looking a little bit more violent. He worked on his footwork, and he's making sure he's working on his explosion by running on heels with sand. Yeah, that man's going to be ready, and he's going to show everybody that he's going to earn this paycheck.
Okay, absolutely. Now, I probably have to agree with you on that, because of the attention that I expect Hopkins to receive. I'm not saying he's not going to eat, but I think it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for Will Fuller and a lot of those quick strike touchdowns that we had last year. So I see plenty of that happen, because it's going to be a situation where you're just going to have to take a gamble. Who you going to let kill you? Because, like I say, it's that receiving core is looking much better. Like I say, Ellington made some nice plays last. Let's not sleep on him. They got a couple of guys that Kuti. I'm very interested to see what he's going to bring to the table. I think it's going to be a point where you're going to have to just pick your poison. And I think what's going to happen is a lot of folks are going to be more content with trying to stop DeAndre and let everybody else put their work in. And again, Fuller, like you said, he's put some size on, so I'm hoping that reduces the possible injuries. And if he can stay healthy, He's definitely going to be a threat. I'm not worried about him losing much speed because even if he lost a slight step, he's still one of the fastest guys.
He's still going to be faster than Dory Jackson.
Exactly.
He's still going to be faster than Logan Ryan. He's still going to be faster than AJ Bouye. He's still going to be faster than Ramsey. He's still going to be faster than anybody on the Colts defense. He's going to be faster than anybody on the Cowboys. He's going to be faster than anybody on the Patriots. He's going to be faster than a lot of dudes on a lot of teams. I fucking love Will Fuller. You got me confused with Ray Ray. No, that ain't me. That ain't me. Yeah. No, I have much respect for Will Fuller. I mean, it's not to say that I don't think that he couldn't be better in some ways because every player can progress. And I think he's doing that alone finally because he's always been fine with his route running. You know what I'm saying? He worked on his hands. I've always felt the problems that he had wasn't his hands per se. I always felt it was depth perception with his eyes. So if that was the case, and if he got that taken care of, not to say that is the real reason, but I mean it could be. So I'm not counting it out. And whatever he was doing last offseason to work and get better, you know, I hope he continue what he did and working with guys like DeAndre Hopkins and other athletes around the country. You know, that shit is only going to serve him in the long run. But what was his other part of that question?
The other part,
was it the two parts of that question?
Yeah, absolutely. The other part was he was asking, do you think that B.O.B. has changed his game plan decision making when it comes to the offense?
I think honestly, he saw that he didn't trust his football team, which is why we were losing games, and I kept saying that. It was the fact we didn't have trust from the players to the coaches and the coaches to the players. That was clear by all of the miscommunication keys that they had all over the field on offense and defense. It was clear because the technique was not refined. So that means that players weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing in practice, and coaches weren't doing enough in practice to ensure that their players were putting out the best product to win games on the football field. That's number two. So when you have all of that, I think he had to take a long look in the mirror and be like, man, I fucked this shit up last year. And, you know, it's clear what I wanted to do outside of what I wanted to do with Watson doesn't work. So why am I fighting so hard to work on some shit that does not work here with what I have now? And it would be dumbfounding to me this year if he made the same mistakes he made last year when you have Deshaun Watson as your quarterback. Just trusting this man to win you the game, and when he shows everybody else and he makes you a believer, then the rest of the team is going to believe, and then you'll end up winning the Super Bowl. That's how it goes.
I believe that he doesn't have any choice but to make changes, because I think now that, again, like you said, you got Watson, you have the talent around him, you see that you have the pieces, some of the players that could be some of the best in the league, you're going to have to make the necessary change. Now, again, like I say, Will Fuller starts off this season healthy. If he started off last season healthy, I think we're in a different situation. But again, I think he's making some changes. Again, a lot of stuff you hear out of camp is like, even from the players are saying that, you know, he hadn't been as uptight. It's not the same dude that came here day one. You know, he seems to be much more relaxed. I think he has another level of confidence with Romeo Crennel being back on the defensive side of the ball. I felt like, honestly, that I think that he didn't have, when you talk about not having trust, and we're talking about the team as a whole, not just the players, but I don't think he had trust in some of the other members of that coaching staff. And I felt like, he made some dumb decisions.
That too.
I think he made some dumb decisions, dumb game management decisions, based on, I think, him trying to cover some slack for Vrabel, or, you know, maybe thinking that he's covering slack for Vrabel or whatever it may be. And so I think that a lot of those issues should be gone. They should be gone. I can't guarantee. Like I said, I don't know. We'll see if they arise, if that happens. But I think he's much more confident in the team that he has. Of Deshaun Watson coming back, he knows what he has in this man's mind and his physical ability. And again, with Crennel on the other side of that sideline, I mean, that's like a safety net. Because then again, so I think that he has to make changes. He has no option but to change. Otherwise,
I think with the exception of him knowing that he took the ball out of Hopkins' hands, I would say the biggest change that he knew he needed to make, and it took no time to make it, was inserting Rack back as the DC. I think he realized, man, what the fuck was I thinking by putting this man in? What did he really show me besides what he could do in the you know. He couldn't do shit with the secondary, but the front seven was elite. You know, it's no reason. I mean, it wasn't elite in terms of causing any pressure once key players went out, but had a top 10 defense in terms of run stuff. At least we still had that. You know what I'm saying? It was clear that Mike Vrabel didn't know what the hell he was able to do in the back end, and a lot of fans with the Titans, I know they got a defensive coordinator, but at the end of the day, it's still what he wants. He still influences the defensive coordinator because it's still his philosophy. Okay. That's what people don't understand. Your philosophies have to be aligned. You have to agree, and this is how you breed success in the NFL. That's why I'm saying the trust factor matters, and it's just like you pointed on, and that wasn't even a point that I was going to make. He didn't even trust his coaching staff for the most part, and that's why so many of those dudes are fired, or they went on to different places.
Okay, yeah. So, man, I want to address a little small point to Clarence, and he's just acting like. Did you looked at what the Patriots have done, what they've lost, as opposed to and no Edelman, and again what we were able to do going in there last year with a less experienced Watson.
Exactly.
Because I don't believe Fuller played that game.
No, he did not.
And so
he did not.
So minimal assets, an inexperienced QB who still was able to go in there with what he had and bang with Brady. A couple of suspect plays, a dropped interception from Corey Moore, who probably won't see that much time on the field this year.
And I know what a Romeo Cornell defense can do against Tom Brady. I'm not worried about that at all.
Exactly. And so, like I say, so if you really think it is going to be, you automatically think, the Patriots take a little bit of time to warm up before they really get going and find their identity for each season. So, like I say, the chances, in my opinion, are very high that the Texans go in there and do some damage. But anyway,
if we beat the Patriots and we beat them handily, you have no idea what this is going to do confidence-wise for the Houston Texans. Oh, yeah. The Jacksonville Jaguars and teams like that, and just like I'm done chastising Clarence for today because I didn't gave him enough spankings today. You know what I'm saying? He didn't got him left and right all day. He been getting slid up under the door all goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? Like he on Phillips Highway somewhere under a bridge waiting on somebody to give him a couple of dollars so he can go to Whataburger. You know what I'm saying? And go order a number 2 jalapenos. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude, man. I mean, he's real easy to break down. I love the fact that he comes through, he shows us love. It's all love, you know what I'm saying? But he's so easy to break down. I mean, every 10 years y'all finally had success. Y'all done drafted, top 5. Y'all done had top 5 picks the last 8-9 years. You know what I'm saying? And now because y'all all of a sudden go to a AFC championship that you lost, at least we got there. You see, that's always a loser's. That's what losers say. Well, at least we got there. Nigga, you didn't win. So you in the same boat we was at. Y'all was just like us watching us, and y'all practically in the same division. Y'all just ended up winning 6 more games than us. That's it. Exactly. That's the only difference. Y'all just happened to 8 more games if you count the playoff wins that y'all ended up having. So y'all won 8 more games. Chalk it up as a good 2017 season, but you won't be able to do the same things in 2018 for one, because your offense sucks. You got one good offense. You got one good offensive player. You have no double tight ends that we need to be worried about. Also, Safarian Jenkins, he was trying to gas this dude up when he did nothing in his career. He doesn't even have. He has no season where he has over 600 yards. Or 5 touchdowns or nothing like that in no one season. Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns, who were both overrated, are both gone. So now they're gonna have to lay lock and key on broken players and a rookie in DJ Chark, who I believe is gonna end up being a phenomenal football player, just not with the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know why? Oops, Blake Bortles the fucking quarterback. Exactly. So at the end of the day, we don't even need to keep going through this because you know what it is. Like, bro, y'all go to the playoffs every 10 years, and at the end of the day, you'll go ahead, you'll win a couple of games, and then you're going to tail off for another 4 years. And y'all only beat us every 4 years anyway. Y'all haven't won a game against us since 2013. The last time we were the worst in the division when we went 2-14, and we just so happened to go 4-12 this season because of multiple reasons. It wasn't just one. You can sit here and act like you didn't see it, but but the rest of the league saw it, and everybody else said if just Deshaun Watson would have been healthy, we easily win the division. And your best cornerback says that after game one, after playing a half against Deshaun Watson, and the fear was already embedded in his soul, and he knew he was going to end up having to get the Charmin ready because he already knew he was going to get wiped the fuck up. So anyway, like we were saying, we're going to let Clarence get on back home to his parents, and he'll get his ass whooping later on Mixer, and we don't even have to worry about putting this man in his place anymore because the Jaguars won't really be what they were last year. If they lucky, they'll be a 9-7, 8-8 type team.
Man, the Jags out there giving people herpes right now. That's what they doing, man. So
come on, man.
You know,
make sure y'all subscribe to Third Coast Sports TV. You know what I'm saying? If you're not subscribed, because at the end of the day, this is what we get to do. We get to put the proper perspective. It ain't no homer fandom. Just because I'm a Houston fan, I'm a realistic fan, and I'm a fan of football first, as I've always stated. These guys, man, can't really contend with us because they have one season. They're gonna end up just like the Oakland Raiders ended up last year, and what the Tennessee Titans were supposed to do last year, and they couldn't even wind up being this supposed good team that they claimed they were. You know, but MJ and all of these other guys, they'll have y'all believing that these teams are really good when they're really not. And their quarterback play proves that time and time again.
Okay. All right, we got a text on the sauce line, and I got the sauce line open up, so if y'all want to call in and express your points, we'll definitely take some calls. Jay Dills say, when does Brady finally fall off the cliff? When his wife,
I don't think he will.
When his wife say she tired,
yeah,
pretty much. Cause
exactly.
Other than that, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be a wrap. You know
it's clear his wife. It's clear his wife ain't. I'm just gonna say it. It's clear his wife pussy game ain't all that because he be at work way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like she, like I mean, her head game. I mean, I don't know. Either he don't know what he doing, or she don't know, or they both the problem because there ain't no way if she was really putting it down and you don't want to go home and you don't want to be around your wife and your kids, shit like that. He's a workaholic. He has a problem right now. And at the end of the day, no man who's the best quarterback in the league has to continually keep proving to people that he's the best if he's not trying to compensate for something else. And that's clearly he doesn't know how to please his woman, so he has to do something else, win football games. I mean, it's clear. I mean, come on, man.
You know, that supermodel pussy might be overrated.
Yeah,
Clarence, man, stop trying to use Tom Coughlin's achievements with another team to justify being a Jags fan. That don't even make sense. He did that with the Giants.
We make you laugh. We make you laugh, but you ain't subbed to no Jags fan. Like the audacity of a Jags fan being inside of a Texan stream when he has no subs. He's not subbed to anyone but Texan subscribers, and he loves the sauce. And he'll claim that the only reason why he's in here is just because we all brothers, which I can understand and I can respect that because you support another brother. I support you. I support you back. We ain't bad mouthing you. We just telling you how it is. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who's gonna end up being reset, and y'all gonna regress just like everything else that you've ever had in Duval.
Duval, but all right, so let's talk a couple of things. Like I said, you know, the sauce line will be open if y'all want to make some calls. There's a couple of little topics I did want to touch on before we get up out of here. I want to talk about, you know, briefly about the Capella contract because the news came out, and I believe Braylon had mentioned it, you know, that the Rockets offered Capella 5 years, $85 million. And, you know, all the national media was saying, oh, it was $60 million or so, you know, again, because like I said, they always undermine. They don't really know what we're working with out here in Houston. They don't understand that Tillman Fertitta, they'll watch his $1 billion buyer show and act like he afraid to spend money on something. You know what I mean? Like, he already said it time and time again. I don't give a fuck about the luxury tax. You know what I'm saying? He's just going to go buy another business to make some more motherfucking money off of it. He ain't tripping on none of that shit. We've already said that Capella can't price himself out of Houston, which means ain't no motherfucking team gonna be able to outbid us for his services. But I think Capella and his agents, I don't even think it's Capella, I think his agents may have pumped his head up to a little. They told him he was $100 million guy and probably been saying it all season, you know, probably using that to try to gas him up. And I'm not saying that he's not a quality player. I'm not saying that I think 85 is a solid range for him because, again, you know, we've discussed it. Capella benefits a ton off of the likes of James Harden and then the attention that he gets, and benefits a ton off of Chris Paul and the attention that he gets. Capella's not necessarily a shot creator. He's not necessarily he's not very, I won't say he's not versatile, but it's not like he has a real solid mid-range game. He eats at the rim, and sometimes, like I say, you can get him the ball down. He fumbles it often. He's not very good at creating his own points, buckets, however you will. So I think that's part of the thing that comes into play, because Moore's going to use the analytics. He's going to make the comparisons, and I think that 85 for 5 is a more than fair offer. You know what I mean? I don't have any problem with that. I think he just wanted to hit that 100 million number because it sounds good. But I think that's an offer you take. If that was the real deal that was laid out on the table, I think you have to take that kind of money. What do you feel about that? Do you think that 85 for 5 is a low bid for Capella?
How is that not enough? Hell yeah, that's more than enough, bro. Like 85 million, bro. Like, let's just be real, Capella. You are not in the range of the 90 to 100 million dollar type of dude. I think you have to have, for him to be that, he would have to have Dwight Howard numbers in like 06.
And the thing, they said they had incentives in the contract though that could have got him to 90 million. So
well then he's an idiot. Then he's just an idiot. I'm not saying now. I can't tell a man how he shouldn't value himself. But for him in a world, for him to think that 85 million, where he could potentially get 90 plus million and still get to be in Houston and working with Hakeem Olajuwon on his game on a consistent basis. Come on, man. That just means like you don't want the deal. I mean, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? No way. I'm turning down 85 million in his situation. But I mean, it is what it is, though. I mean, I don't know.
And you would think that, again, looking at it and seeing the attention that he's not necessarily getting elsewhere, I think he's going to end up pulling the donuts and fucking himself out of some money when he had a chance to get paid, and then thinking he's going to hold out or sign a $1 million, a 1 year qualifying offer for whatever, and really get underpaid and then try to go somewhere else. I don't see that kind of money for him on the market. And if you fuck around, they gonna look Zochi gonna fuck around and develop into something, and they're gonna really be like, fuck it. But I think that again, like, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's not like I know Capella. It's not like I have a personal relationship with him or anything like that. But I want to believe that, coming where he's come from.
Y'all actually thought that too, Clarence, and look what happened. Y'all got disappointed because Blake Bortles ain't the man.
and here's the thing.
We got help. It's a difference between us when we were there, because we actually put up points. We actually kept Brady from scoring. We actually made Brady turn the ball over. Y'all couldn't do none of that. Y'all wouldn't really getting to Brady like that. He was skipping past y'all ass. It looked like early on like y'all was gonna be able to contend in the game, and then y'all got y'all heart broken in the second half of the. We saw how the game went. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got y'all hearts broken.
But yeah, man, like I say, here's the thing with that. Like I say, and then the thing is, y'all don't have that element of surprise anymore. Like, everybody was just, that's the Jags. The Jags.
Nah.
Like, we got called the worst team in the league because we lost to y'all. and like, because that's how bad
we
views y'all. Like, that was because we lost. Yeah, they were the worst in the league. They lost to the fucking Jags. Like, so no, but now people's like, okay, they got a little bit of something going on. They still got Blake Bortles. We ain't really tripping, but. Again, y'all don't have that element of surprise anymore. I think it was just the underestimation and again, like I say, how the same way people apply that Lakers and LeBron, that name value, it's the Jags name value. The Jags name is trash. You know what I mean? And it's been trash, for 10 years at a time. And y'all get one good one, it's okay. Like, okay, we're gonna pay attention. They might be doing something. Y'all probably gonna end up stinking it up again, but we ain't really tripping on that. Speaking on another thing.
No, not really.
Did you have a chance to see the Pac-Man scuffle in the airport?
No, actually I didn't. I seen y'all talking about it in the chat, in the sauce chat. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go check into it or nothing like that, but was Pac-Man out here whooping ass in the airport?
Yeah, I don't think he was scuffing with it. Somebody was Pac-Man. He ain't really like he was just throwing hands like that. I mean, the dig he was scrapping with probably wasn't worth his salt. He was a dig in the airport trying to get a little clout. Thought he was going to try to talk crazy to him, probably try to get him a win. But anyway, he ended up getting charged because he was the aggressor. Pac-Man was minding his own business apparently. And but you got a lot of, we didn't see what happened before on the camera. We don't know what happened. All I know is no matter what words were said, Pac-Man didn't put his hands on that man first. And so if a motherfucker can't take some words and they get triggered and activated because a motherfucker told him some shit and probably told him some truth, that he probably ain't want to hear.
So it's one of them type of situations like Petty Patty. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, it's one of them
Yeah,
situations
so he
where
was
they just trying to come up on an athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they know he got a checkered history, and they feel like they can come up off of this motherfucker. Oh, that one of them. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm glad Pac-Man whooped his ass.
Yeah, and ended up basically losing his job, taking the L and catching the charge. And like I said, they ain't even pressing on Pac-Man because again, all the witnesses basically said that Pac-Man was minding his own business. You know, he wasn't really doing nothing. But he popped that nigga a couple of good times. He dropped him. He ain't sleeping, but he dropped him. Like I say, that dude really wasn't worth his salt. He just was what it was. He just wanted to run his mouth thinking, you know, so he probably got embarrassed in front of some hoes or something like that. You know them type of niggas. You know how that goes. And his little pride got crushed. NFL nigga, you ain't shit. You a free agent anyway. You know, okay.
Yeah. The bitch who he really wanted at the job, the one who was selling the goddamn chips at the, you know what I'm saying, at the goddamn little kiosk selling the damn little cold ass sandwiches and the cokes and shit. Were the magazines that was probably, you know, she probably thought he was on the way, you know, to meet up after work, and then she saw that he was a sucker and got his ass whooped in front of everybody. Oh man, can you imagine how many people caught that shit on camera? Do you know how many people was at the airport, bro?
Everybody.
Now, it'd be different if you was at the airport where I'm at right now. That you probably wouldn't even have to worry about too many people seeing it. But like if he was at Atlanta airport, like Jesus Christ, Lord forbid if they was at Miami airport. Do you know how many motherfuckers walk around that piece? Man,
all I do know though is the fight really wasn't even the highlight of the video. Whoever that was, that bitch had a fat motherfucking ass. I can't lie. There was some ass that was, you know, permeating the video. And you know, so I had to acknowledge that one point because I mean, you see it, you just kind of gotta acknowledge. Like she was trying to hold him, like, hey, what's who's holding him back? Oh, that bitch got some ass, goddamn. And then you see, you know, Pac-Man dropped the nigga, then you go back to, okay, the ass still out, okay, goddamn. But you know, just had to touch on that. Just had to touch on that just briefly, you know, but not physically touch on it. We ain't gonna act like the jazz.
Right. Lord forbid he do that.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But and then, like I say, let's.
I wanted to bring this up, man. I wanted to bring up, since it's Andre Johnson's birthday, and, you know, shout out to Andre Johnson, you know, for turning 37 today. You know, he's the GOAT. He will forever remain the GOAT. It's not J.J. Watt. Anybody saying that J.J. Watt is the GOAT, you just became a fan when he was, you know, when he was on top of the Texans. And we know that ain't true because long before J.J. Watt existed, Andre Johnson was out here killing the game. You know, he was an all-pro. He was a Pro Bowler. He had 7 seasons where he was 1,000+ yards. And he was one of the most respected wide receivers on the team that had no clout in the league whatsoever. And you know, I'm glad that he was the Houston Texan. And I also wanted to get into what he had to say about DeAndre Hopkins being the best wide receiver in the league. How you feel about it? How you feel about it? Honestly, I mean, I already know how you feel, but let's reiterate for the people who probably didn't hear us say it the first time.
Man, and then this is a thing. That's why I say, you know, when I like to hear players comment about things because it almost reinforces some of the things that we thinking that they think along some of the same lines as us. Because he mentioned, he's like, man, DeAndre is arguably the best in the league right now. And, you know, no disrespect to all the others he's played with, you know, that includes Schaub, who Andre played with. But he said he's finally got a quarterback. And, you know, now he'll really be able to do something. And that's the same thing that we've said. And, again, a lot of people in the league don't pay attention to you know, those things. Hold on. And, again, like you say, once you have a QB who can do something, and again, because all these other greats, everybody, Julio. Okay, well, look at Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's been doing this for a while. You know, they talk about AB. Okay, but what's his name was going to be defined with or without AB. He's going to eat. You know, Ben Roethlisberger going to eat. And he going to rape, but he going to do what he going to do. Hopkins has not had that luxury. You can talk about Odell again. Eli Manning, Super Bowl winning quarterback twice. You know, that's the team.
And Odell, we know you can get in his head.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He on the sideline. You ain't never Hopkins be out there scrap. You ain't never seen him get all feminine. Niggas talking bad about me. Call me a fag on the field. I'm gonna go kick this fucking net and then get beat up by the fucking kicking net. You know, like you know, the dude. DeAndre is solid, dog. Again, underrated. But you know how it happens down here in Houston. The media don't want us to see. If he was to go anywhere else, Just like when Ariza left, just like when Luke left. Anytime somebody leaves Houston to go somewhere, oh my God, how is Houston ever going to bounce back from losing that guy? But when they hear, they get no acknowledgement. But like I said, it's good to see Andre, one of the best to ever do it, and again, who can validate that opinion, to sit here and say,
right,
yeah, he's the man. And these guys played with half them quarterbacks that DeAndre had to go through, so he knows what their skill sets are and what they ain't. And he even said with Watson, he was so happy. That's the happiest pick that he's ever had for the Texans. That he was so happy that happened because they finally got some shit going. I think it's great to hear.
And one of the telling things that he said at the end of the statement is that we got a quarterback like that, and he immediately meant a quarterback. Well, I'm just gonna say it: a quarterback that's black, that can play in the pocket, that can make plays, and that is electric and can win you big games. And let's just be real. Due to the guys that we have running the front office, I never thought we would. I mean, I never really thought about it, but I never thought we would ever have a player like Deshaun Watson in terms of his mobility, his playmaking ability outside the pocket, and the fact he was black. I'm just gonna be real. I never thought we would get no quarterback like that, especially knowing what we know now about Bob McNair and the shit that the stunts he liked to pull. You know, so
like I said,
it's crazy.
I never thought that we would either. Like, you know, I think everything else was cool. But I've been telling folks for years to say the more dreads that the Texans start picking up, and not Watson ain't got dreads, but the more players with dreads that they start coming on, you saw the Texans start improving. And they start getting away from some of the old traditionals. And I think that has, like I say, that has to start with the higher ups, and it works its way down. Clarence,
I hate to call it like this, but I hate to call it like this, but I hate to call it like this, Honcho. But you know what was crazy?
What's that?
It to me, longevity and just, you know, we're gonna have to wait some years, you know, with Deshaun Watson to see. But it's looking like the most successful quarterbacks in Houston are going to end up being black. It's looking that way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from
looking that way. I mean, I'm just saying.
From 1 year,
even
though it's a small sample size. I mean, on talent alone, because like I say, it wasn't necessarily coaching, because we talk about that all the time. B.O.B. didn't know what he was like. What is he out here doing? I don't know, but he's hot. He's hot. I don't know, but because Schaub was a product of. Schaub was a product of the Kubiak system. Schaub had no free reign. Schaub couldn't even call audibles. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Like, people don't even realize. Like, Schaub was a system and that's why I honestly felt like Kubiak didn't want Peyton there the first time, because it would have been some butt heads, and he would have been able to put that on paper. Because he knew he couldn't
control him.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Okay. Oh man, Wise got a
right. Yeah, no, it's very true.
Okay, Wise got a text, and he said, which rookie will perform the best within the next 5 years and make the biggest impact? And we'll make so you're talking about on the text, okay? And we'll have the biggest impact on this franchise. I'm gonna be honest. From what we're looking at, I'm gonna say Reed, because as far as the rookies, if we're talking about just the Texans, and this one right now, white QB oppression. Yes, we're holding them down. We're holding them down. I only root for Reed.
I mean, but we can't negate that. I mean, we already know Warren Moon. Come on, bro. We know who Warren Moon was. Nobody in our history is seeing not fucking Pastorini, not any of them dudes. They ain't seeing no Warren Moon. And Deshaun Watson is doing something that we ain't never had. You know what I'm saying? So, and if the man end up winning us a damn Super Bowl or something like that over the next few years, over the next 2 to 3 years, I'm pretty sure he will have won us a Super Bowl. And he's the type of player, once he done played against you and he done diagnosed and he knows what to do, he don't fall for it again. He's pretty much like Nick Saban
like a nickname for Jennifer Lopez's cat face.
Once he done got collected the day
rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing.
But the philosophy overall is going to stay the same when it comes to guarding Deshaun Watson. And he's always prevailed in the end. So why do I have to sit here and act like he's not going to get it done like that at the NFL level, when in a small sample size he's done something that no other quarterback has really done for us, let alone what any other quarterback is doing in our division?
You heard me.
I mean, it's something to talk about.
Yeah. Voodoo Child, I see you, man. It's because we're racist. I told you I'm a goddamn racist. And I'm gonna
no, it ain't racist. It's just what it is. Let's just call it what it is.
But
name me two quarterbacks that aren't Deshaun Watson and Warren Moon who were actually better. I mean, you can't name one. But this is a point that I really want to bring up, and this has to be said in terms of the DeAndre Hopkins situation, and I can debunk everybody saying that AB and Julio was better just off of this right here. You name me one receiver this year who had a tougher schedule of corners to go against and prevailed on a week in, week out basis. Now let's go by the names. He had to go against Boye. He had to go against Ramsey. He's going to be going up against them for years. That's already a mean-ass tandem by itself. Mm-hmm. Then he had to go against Kevin Byard. Then he had to go against Sherman. Then he had to go against Cam Chancellor. Then he had to go against Earl Thomas. He went against fucking Marcus Peters and made him look stupid. He had to go up against Tremaine Johnson, who we wanted in free agency. He went up to Baltimore and shredded the fuck out of Jimmy Smith, and they were like the #1 passing defense at the time when we played them and Carr. Yeah. So then we go there. You saw what he did to San Francisco. We don't even need to talk about it.
That Baltimore game was a scrap. That was a fight.
They benched him. Yeah, like they was finna box old buddy on the sideline for giving up nine catches, 136 yards and 2 touchdowns in one half of football. Mm-hmm. And had he stayed on him for another half, he probably would have broke the single season record in yardage in a game.
Yeah, he was on his path to that. 2 and some change on Seattle, didn't he? It was
224 yards with a touchdown off of 7 catches.
On Seattle.
That's 31 yards. That's over 31 yards a catch.
Ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
So that's all.
We ain't even talking about what he did to Joe Hayden in the Steelers game. We ain't talking about we ain't talking about what he did to Pac-Man Jones in week 2. We ain't talking about what he did to Logan Ryan and Adoree Jackson and Bryce McCain and Kevin Byard in week 4. You know what I'm saying? I can keep going and going and going and going. Nobody had a harder schedule in terms of going up against DBs week in, week out than DeAndre Hopkins and made him. Oh, and we ain't talking about what he did to Patrick Peterson. We didn't bring him up. That's the icing on the cake right then.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. Chandler, man, I missed a couple of your texts. And you said if we Clint Capella, Carmelo, we gonna sign both of those dudes. We should. You said we need to bring in Marcus Smart. That would be an interesting pickup. But I said, what was your reaction when Deshaun Watson got drafted by the Texans?
Man, I fucking jumped for joy. If had I been doing streams or I don't know why I didn't do a reaction video because it would have got views right then. When we moved up, when I saw us move up, when I saw that Texans icon move up after, I forgot who picked before us because I knew 2 picks before us. It was Kansas City. I forgot who was before us. Was it New Orleans? I want to say New Orleans went right before us, and then it was on us because the Browns had traded out of that pick and we moved up. And when I saw that all we did was flip first rounders, and all we did was gave up a first rounder for Nick, I was like, man, that's a hell of a trade to go up and go get Deshaun Watson, because I felt like that was a cheap ass deal. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what anybody tried to say, anybody after what they saw Deshaun Watson do, nobody is arguing that he shouldn't have won #1 overall in this past draft.
Oh yeah.
Nobody argued that.
I see you, Voodoo. That look, at least you stand up for it, man. That's how you got to be. That's what the sauce is about. At least you stand up for your your crowings. Definitely, like I said, I was excited. I was happy that we got a quarterback. I was trying to be reserved. You know what I mean? Because I was like, man, I don't know about the Texan situation overall. But I got a question. Was the reaction greater than the Honey Badger pickup reaction?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, for me it was, but the Honey Badger, you talking about my actual reaction that I had when we were on stream?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, hold on one second. We got a call coming in. I think Chandler hitting us on the sauce line. Let me check it out. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the sauce line?
This is Chandler. Back in the draft, not this year, but the year before, we got Deshaun Watson. I thought Deshaun Watson was going to go to the Bears, but when the Bears drafted Mitchell Trubisky,
yeah.
I was just like, wow. And also that we traded for Deshaun Watson. I was just like, thank you to this franchise, to save this franchise from the QB, and like, thank you for getting this QB, because we've been through so many quarterbacks through the history in the years, and that's my question.
All right, man. Appreciate you calling in, Chandler, as always. Man, like I said, yeah, but I was definitely excited. And yeah, we know to finally get a quarterback. But yeah, I thought that was kind of stupid too, because I honestly, like saying before the pick, before any of the moves were made to really know where we were sitting, I was kind of skeptical as what the Texans were going to do. And the fact that they did pick Trubisky over it, I was like, okay, well, the Texans probably going to end up with Mahomes or something. Oh, we got another call coming in. We're going to take this other call real quick. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the sauce line?
What's happening, man? 826.
What's going down?
I just wanted to say, you called it on the James Enos sign. That was a really good call, and I think I like what the Rockets are doing strategically, as far as stacking up a bunch of really strong defensive players, and I think we got everybody we really need right now to really get the job done and be able to take it to the championship. I mean, James, he's a really great rebounder. I like how the summer league is going right now, especially today's game. I think there was 16 points by Zhao and Milton, and we're looking pretty sharp on pretty much offense and defense wise.
Okay, yeah, I definitely agree. Like I said, I'm liking what we got in some of the summer league players, man. Let me see. Here's the deal. I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna make a comment on that, man. I appreciate you calling in.
Absolutely.
Already. I got to give credit where credit is due, man. On the James Ennis call, I got to shout out to Wise and Breaking News Bray.
Yeah, they've been on it.
He definitely got to give them their credit on that, because they call that. We've actually been speaking on that for a couple of days now. Look. That's our Waj right there. Wojnarowski. I don't know which one of y'all want to be Wojnarowski, and y'all can do that. But shout out to them, man, for definitely holding down and coming with the news. You know what I'm saying? All the time, staying on top of that. So I got to give them their due. Got to give them their credit, and I ain't gonna take no credit for that call, because they hit me to that. But again, let me see. But we're talking about the Trubisky situation, and the fact that he went over Watson.
Oh, I laughed.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying.
I laughed my ass off.
How do you think Bears fans feel right now about that?
Bears fans was pissed. Oh man, I immediately went to YouTube and watched Bears reactions when that shit happened. Oh, I had a joyous day the next day watching the draft reactions to that shit, because when I tell you that it was so fucking stupid. Do you know how many other critical players that they could have pulled up? I mean, that they could have got at that point in time. And honestly, I want to speak on our draft. I was crunk about Deshaun Watson, but I was definitely crunk when we got Zach Cunningham and Deontay Foreman. I was crunking a motherfucker, but I was nowhere near as crunk as I was supposed to be when we picked Honey Badger up. If y'all saw that live, everybody that was in the live stream when that happened, because we had like 300 people in the live stream that day when we had a shitload of people in here that day. We talking about the chat was coming in so fucking fast. I remember you had to put the slow shit on just so we could see comments, because I had just came from getting some Popeyes.
Yeah.
That's where the feed wink hashtag came from. You know what I'm saying? And Tinny and everybody was on the call. The call.
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna cut you off real quick. We'll take this call real quick.
Oh, okay.
What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the sauce line?
What's going on, Honcho? This is Dr. Rabbit 19 again.
Already. What's going on, Dr. Rabbit?
What's going on?
And this is about the Bears reacting to Mitchell Trubisky. The janitor at my school was a Bears fan.
Is he still a Bears fan?
I told him, hey, what do you think about
who did he want, though?
Them picking Trubisky.
Man.
And he actually thought it was funny.
So he wasn't too keen on the Trubisky pick. He was upset about that. Would he prefer Watson?
Yeah, he wasn't too eager on that. And well, to be frank about the thing, they should have drafted Deshaun Watson, because I looked at his stat line, or Trubisky's stat line, and he had 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
Right,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Trubisky, you know, the Trubisky is pretty ass. But again, they tried to justify it. They tried to sell it to, hey, he's the most NFL ready. Motherfucker had like one decent year. It was the talent around him. It was the team and all that. But I appreciate you calling in, Dr. Rabbit. We're going to speak on that. And hopefully your janitor has recovered from such a devastating missed opportunity. But man, shout out to Dr. Rabbit, man. Appreciate you calling in.
I looked at so many people doing live reactions. I went to Bears channels. They were upset. People were actually trying to justify. I only saw maybe like 1 or 2 people who were actually proud about the move. You know what I'm saying? And people were trying to big up, people were really trying to big up fucking like Mitchell Trubisky out here. And it makes no sense when he did nothing in the ACC, period. He didn't contend. He didn't have no great games. He had no memorable moments that you didn't hear about Mitchell Trubisky till about January, February, when shit was already getting, you know, like the national championship and all that shit was being won by Deshaun Watson, and he still gets disrespected. But it's just like Shannon Sharp said, it ain't about where you go. It ain't about when you go. It's what team is the best fit. And at the end of the day, they didn't get the best fit, and they didn't cash out. The Browns, they already shipped off fucking Deshaun Kaiser. And honestly, Deshaun Kaiser could have been right had he had a better coaching staff. I mean, especially with the weapons that they have coming to the Browns this season. And that's what's real fucked up about his situation. But Mitchell Trubisky, he won't do nothing in the league. Regardless if he got Allen Robinson, Jordan Howard, and Tariq Cohen, he still ain't going to do shit. The defense and the running game is going to carry him as long as they end up, as long as he ends up being the starter. They're going to end up finding about year 3 that he ain't shit, and he going to keep regressing, and he's never going to get nowhere near where they thought he could potentially go. But they shit all over the quarterback who wins in college and proves everybody wrong. You know what I'm saying? I hate that they do specific quarterbacks that way, and that all they can do is run and do all of this bullshit. And you know where I'm going at with this. And, you know, dudes don't get their respect, but now he getting his respect, you know, nationwide by everybody who loves football. And
the
you know, I'm just glad to see him get his credit.
Fuck Steph Curry, 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 fuck Steph Curry.
Fuck Boogie Cousins, fuck Boogie Cousins, fuck Boogie Cousins, fuck Boogie Cousins. Wink ripped ass in a stream. Never forget.
They ain't gonna let you go with that one, man. They ain't gonna never let the toot go. But man, here's my thing, man. The motherfucking media, it kills me because again, you know, they'll talk about Alabama, that's the most NFL like team you'll see in college, and you know all this, that, and the third.
Right.
And you saw him going work Alabama twice. You know what I'm saying? He got the
800 yards in 2 seasons.
Yeah, just work. I mean, do what nobody does. Has done Alabama since who knows when, and do it consistently. But yet,
and it wasn't that he won. He won in the clutch, and he knew they were done before the play. When he saw the formation, when he talks about that on the QB Gruden camp, it's just like, He was like, man, when we called, he was like, man, I knew I had. He said it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
He was like, if he didn't move, if he didn't motion out, he was like, I already knew it was touchdown. And sure enough, it was. And he won in spectacular fashion, especially the fact that he had to come back because they were getting blown out early in the game. And he brought them all the way back from extinction to win the game and to prevail and be the best quarterback in the nation coming out of college.
We got a call coming in. We're gonna take this
call. And he wasn't treated as such.
Let me see. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling on the sauce line?
Yeah, I know who this is, and this is one thing. I'm calling because I don't understand what's the deal with people and these receivers. I don't know why they constantly put Julio Jones, and maybe you can make an argument for Antonio Brown, but it's like they fail to see that DeAndre Hopkins has been consistent with poor quarterback play for the past year. But I thought, because I want to say this, mark my words, if Deshaun Watson have a healthy season, a full season with DeAndre Hopkins, his numbers will rise, and everybody will give him the respect he deserves.
Rise to what? Put a number on that.
Okay,
put a number on that.
Yeah, put a number on it. Put a number on it.
Put a number on that.
Drop a number in the chat, man. Give me some numbers on that, man. Yeah, we definitely need some numbers on that one. But here's the thing, though. I think a lot of that does go kind of hand in hand because, again, people pay attention to the quarterback play and then I think to the receiver play. And so, again, when you talk about, oh, Matty Ice is putting up these numbers, and you say, okay, well, it's Julio doing a significant amount of that production. Oh, Roethlisberger's been putting up these numbers, and you see AB's getting a significant number of that production. I think that's kind of how it works. But why is this mysterious receiver just putting up numbers? We don't know who's throwing him the ball. Who's throwing him the ball? We don't understand it. He can't, And I think so. That's kind of what goes. Okay, that's what I got. Yeah, let me see. You say 4. Okay. You say, what's he? 4,500 passing yards, 37 TDs. I mean, that's it's quite possible. But here's the thing, man, and I think that's probably. Oh yeah, appreciate that love, Roscoe, man. He's watching through the ad. That's what I'm talking about, holding it down. Look, all of it counts, man. So my thing is this, though. Like I say, I think now people are going to pay more attention to Watson. Of course, they're already paying attention. No, it's not more attention. It might be the most exciting football you're going to see in the league. I'm telling you, you don't come in averaging 30 and then you see what happens as soon as he goes down. Everything just depletes. But yet Hopkins continues on no matter who's back there. If it's Yates, if it's Savage, if it's a bottle of Heineken or whoever else back there. Shit, Leckler could get out there and fucking, Hopkins going to eat. Everybody but 17. And that's why I don't realize people don't understand how bad 17 was. Now, the dude couldn't beat out anybody in the Browns camp. He couldn't beat out 2 rookies, dog. And so what I'm saying is, he was in Denver. Man, that dude was complete. All he had was him and Fedorowicz had some kind of weird connection. But outside of that, he had nothing, man. I mean, he had the same stable.
It looked like early on he was going to end up having a connection with Will Fuller too.
Yeah, and
it looked that way, but it wasn't.
Like I said, I don't know, man. I guess it was them giraffe hooves that he was throwing with. I don't know what it was, man, but it's very interesting to see. But here's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna start winding things down. I want to say shout out to everybody who's utilized the line. Is it anything you want to speak on? Anything you want to talk about before we slide up out of here?
I don't know. I guess it's probably just to expand, on what we're talking about right now, because you have to take all of these things in consideration when it comes to talking about Hopkins. And I think I wanted to get back to expanding on about that my reaction. Okay. Because that night I was too crunk when we got Honey Badger because it was such a fucking slow week for us. And we were so disappointed. Do you remember that week of round tables? Like, we were so fucking mad about getting all of these bullshit asshole linemen, and everybody was saying, chill the fuck up, man. You're hating trust in the process. Brian Gain is the man in doing this, and he wasn't doing a motherfucking thing. But then, somehow, he pulled off a 1-year, $7 million deal for Tyrann Mathieu. I came back from picking my wife up from getting her hair done. I remember that night like it was nothing. I remember I got back. I don't remember if my phone had died or I just didn't get back home because I picked her up. And as soon as I got back in the house and I got back in the chat with y'all were already talking about it, and I didn't know what the hell y'all were talking about.
Yeah.
And I got back in, and y'all said something about Honey Badger, and I was like, yeah, what about him? And he was like, yeah, we got him. I was like, fuck out of here. Yeah, we ain't got no Honey Badger. You were like, for real, man. Look at the chat. Look at the chat. And everybody in the chat was telling me, yo, we got him. We got him. 1 year, 7 years. And I was like, and it wasn't until I went to the Sauce chat and saw that the actual deal was done, and I saw that shit, and y'all heard the reaction. Yeah, I was going to the bed. Man, look, if y'all was in there that night, and for people who looking for that show, all you need to do is just go back to the date. All I know was it's the week. Free agency started March 8th or March 10th, one of those days. Mm-hmm. So that means, but that was like Tuesday or Wednesday. So it was like Tuesday. So that Friday night was when. So whatever, man. Let me look at the date. Let me look at my date on my calendar real quick, because I don't want to give y'all the wrong date. So the week of when the fuck did that happen? It was either March 9th, or it was March 16th. Mm-hmm. So go back to March 9th or March 16th on Honcho channel, and you'll find that video when we was talking about free agency. And man, it was a long ass video. Yeah. I want to say that video was about like 3 hours long. Yeah. I want to say it was probably about like an hour and a half into the show or something like that. Because I was out and about. Y'all heard me ordering Popeyes and shit. You know what I'm saying? My typical order. You know what I'm saying? And then I get back home, and then we fuck around and got Honey Badger. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, that was nice play. All right, and let's. So, do you think after this year? I mean, I know it's too early to speculate. You know, and hoping that he stays healthy, and I think that he will. Because even it was funny, he made a comment about it. I got cut, and I'm a 93. Yeah, that was funny.
Right.
But so do you see him after this year? I mean, we just taking a wild guess, wild speculation. Doing a prove it deal this year. Do you see him signing long term with the Texans if he has a successful year?
Who, Tyron?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the only thing what's really going to end up keeping him here is not even just the fact that the guys that he's playing around, the fact that he has consistent quarterback play, the fact that he doesn't have to go up against DeAndre Hopkins, and the fact that they stick true to what they said his role was going to be. And I think that's going to be the most important key to keeping him on this team. He wants to play safety. He doesn't know how good he is at safety, so allow him to be the safety. Yeah. Allow him to be able to work with J. Joe and the rest of the guys that are veterans in the secondary to show Justin Reed what's up. They build some chemistry. They show that they can make big plays, and that enough is going to end up showing that he already got a major deal from the Cardinals that he was already on. He already close to home in New Orleans when he does need to go home to see his family and shit like that. And he'll probably end up getting broke off a nice little deal. If he gets like a 40, depending on how he does, I say if he gets like between 89 to 100 tackles, if he's able to force like a couple of fumbles, he gets like 2 fumble recoveries, and if he can get like 3 or 4 picks, I think you can justifiably pay him like $45 million and guarantee him about like 28 to 30.
Okay. All right, good deal. Well, man, like I say, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna wrap this thing up, man. We'll start getting ready to get settled in. Like I say, 9 o'clock we will be in the Kush Den talking about our trashy women winning. Got some interesting things to discuss on that. So if y'all want to continue some good conversation, make sure y'all into that. Make sure y'all are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, Third Coast Sports TV 2. Make sure y'all subscribe to Wink. I want to say shout out to Wink coming through.
Oh man, I need to send you something with my mixer, man, because I want y'all to see this ass whooping I'm finna put on Clarence.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We ain't forgot about you. Okay. Yeah, he thought he was going to escape. Yeah, hold on. I need to go ahead and send you the link. Share it with you or something.
It should be just your screen name. What is your?
Oh, my screen name is Wink 5100.
Wink 5100. So I think that should be it is. Matter of fact, I remember it was.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put the link right here in the thing. Mixer.com, Wink 5100. Y'all check that out.
Yep.
Dr. Rabbit 19, man. Anytime, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, if y'all like dogs, you like dogs, you go check out Dr. Rabbit. He has some very interesting dog videos on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, much love to Dr. Rabbit holding it down from the sauce to the den and occasionally in the mixer. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you see, say 15 minutes. Give him 15. All I need is 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
That's
you
what
got it.
Clarence say need 15 minutes. All right, we'll let him do his thing. And
15 minutes. You got it. I'm putting my game on right now. Hold on. I want to hear you. I want. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, real family. Wrong fucking chat. We don't do no song requests in this motherfucker. What the fuck wrong with you, real family? You on that shit. You see, you've been fucking around downtown Atlanta popping mollies and doing God knows what. You on that bullshit.
Oh God.
You know that's that shit you be on. But yeah,
send you a link. Devontae Love, what you on? Yeah. Honcho actually is getting ready to put the link in the chat for y'all to click on.
Yeah, I just posted it. If y'all let me know if y'all seen it or not.
You might have to post it again.
But it's mixer.com/wink5100. Drop it in there one more again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I say, make sure it popped up, pulled up. Yeah. Okay, there it is. I'm about to say, I wonder why it wasn't showing up. There it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
But here's the deal. Again, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. I appreciate you, Wink, taking the time out. Another great Wink Wednesday, Sauce Nation, for showing love, keeping it live. Shout out to the mods for holding it down. Shout out to everybody except the real family, because he get on my motherfucking nerves. He need to go read a fucking book. But he all right sometimes too. But
yeah, Clarence, it's all fun, but we got to keep you in your place. You ain't Jaguars. You ain't Jaguar Nation or whatever y'all call Hooball or whoever y'all want to be today. You know what I'm saying? I know shit. Matter of fact, when we done smashing y'all, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put on Lil Duval. Smile, bitch. Smile, bitch. Come on. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Smile, bitch. Smile, bitch. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't gotta do nothing else. That's all I'm gonna do. It's just smile. Man,
appreciate
we gonna start this thing all right.
Definitely appreciate the love, Julius here, man. I seen you very active. I was thinking it was a first time name, but I'm glad you're here, man. And you know what I'm saying, that you're always welcome back. And again, the rest of y'all Sauce Nation, man, y'all already know, man. We holding it down for the city. We holding it down for the local teams, man. Share the sauce with your friends, your family. Man, anybody that if you really love them, you're going to tell them stop listening to that bullshit that they putting on the AM radio. Stop listening to that bullshit that they putting on national media. If you really love your association, if you care about your friends and their fans, you need to put them on the sauce, man, because, like I said, we're trying to take this thing to the next level. But with that being said, breaking through JR6 said you ready for Game 5. JR be out of there. But with that being said, man, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. You know what I'm saying? Sauce Nation, y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. And with that being said, man, we chunking up a deuce. And we out. We'll catch y'all next time. I can find my mouse. There we go. We out.